In other news, Tim White is dead. How about that? Tim White. I bet you guys are listening to me right now and you're saying, who in the sweet fuck is Tim White? Who's Tim White? Well, let me tell you guys about Tim White. I remember watching Tim White on TV as a young boy. As a young man, Tim White was on WWE. But he wasn't a wrestler. This man, Mr. Tim White, was a referee. Actually, before that, he was a cameraman turned referee. But by the time I was watching the WWE, he was starting to phase out. He was starting to phase out as a referee, I mean. It seemed like it was time to make a change. Make a change for his life, for his legacy, and really be a part of something that he loved, which was the WWE. This is just an assumption. I didn't know the fucking guy. But it seemed like he was a long-time employee of the World Wrestling Entertainment Corporation, whatever the fuck it is, which is what I'm talking about if you didn't know. The hardcore fans will know what I'm talking about. But Tim White was a referee, and right around the time I was watching, he was phasing away from that. And he was actually becoming a character. He would referee, if I remember correctly, he would referee here and there, and people would remember him. And he would even wear his referee shirts when he would do his character. And all it was I remember the first time they reintroduced Tim White. And he was working in a bar. It was in Providence, Rhode Island. My hometown. He was working in a bar. I'm forgetting the name. It was like the Tap House or the Tap Room. And he was working, and they went in and they filmed him, and they said, "Wow, you're Tim White. You used to be a ref in the WWE. We remember you." Something along those lines. And he would look at them, and he wouldn't say anything. He didn't say anything. He didn't say anything, guys. He walked away, and he attempted to kill himself. Off screen, of course. He, put a shotgun in his mouth, and blood went everywhere, and people screamed. Or, it was something like that. I don't remember exactly what he did in that little skit there. A nice one, I might add. But Tim White this is how they reintroduced him as a character in the UFC, in the WWE. Again, just to reiterate, went into a small tap house. He was behind the bar working. The idea was that he was a retired referee. People said, "Hey, we remember you." He walked off, put a gun in his mouth, and blew his fucking head off. That was what the WWE was working with in those days. And that's where a young man like me first got the true sense of entertainment and performanceship. You know? I think that might be one of the earliest times where I remember saying, hey, that guy is willing to do whatever it takes to entertain and be a man of the stage and a man of the people. Now, he went on to do many of these skits because poor Tim White had a problem. He couldn't kill himself. Every week he would return with a new injury, showing injury, recovering, right? Like maybe he, after he blew his head off or he put a gun to his head, he probably showed up with a bandage wrapped around his head. It was, like that. And they're like, oh, and he's in the back. And they'd be like, Tim White, wow, man, how you been? A wrestler or something. And he'd go, yeah. He'd say a couple words, and he'd have like a real grizzled, sad look on his face. And he'd have a beard, a gray beard. And he'd be like, yeah, He'd say something, and then he'd walk off. And I remember there was a big wind, like a big fan, one of those real big industrial fans that they use on like a construction site. Real, real big, and it was just in the back, and there was no grate on it. And he stuck his head in it. He stuck his fucking head in it, dude. I'm pretty sure they had him jumping off a bridge. All these images were popping into my mind when I found out that the great Tim White has actually passed. I don't know if he killed himself. That would be pretty fucking ironic. I feel like he would have to do that. Like, I'm not sure how he died. I don't know if they know how he died right now. As I found this out, but I couldn't believe it.